Hey, DocTesta here. I want to talk today about sugar, fat, and estrogen. What is the connection between these three? Because there is a correlation and a connection that can be certainly affect our health, both men and women, but we're going to focus on men today. So sugar elevates insulin levels. Insulin is the storage hormone, and so when we eat too many refined carbohydrates, too much sugar, and for some people too much fruit and where they get too much fructose, which is part of sucrose, table sugar. And so when we get too much of this in our bloodstream, insulin levels skyrocket. And insulin is the storage hormone. So it starts to push all this sugar into the cell where it gets burned as fuel. But if the cell can't use it all, it gets pushed into the liver and stored as glycogen for a while. But when the liver gets full, then the liver fills up with too much sugar, which gets converted into fat in the liver, and we develop fatty liver. And then when the liver can't hold any more of this sugar, it stores in the belly as abdominal fat or under the skin as subcutaneous fat. Now this fat releases a enzyme called aromatase. And aromatase converts testosterone and male hormones into estrogen. Now, that can be a problem for men. This is the sugar, fat, estrogen connection. Too much glucose, elevated insulin. Insulin stores the excess calories and energy as fat. And so we develop this fat that now is releasing enzymes called aromatase that are converting our natural testosterone as men into estrogen. And when that happens, especially for a male, we start to lose muscle mass, we start to lose bone density, we can get moody or depressed, we can develop lipid or cholesterol issues, and it affects our libido and erectile function. So you can see that really men aren't supposed to have all this estrogen floating around in our blood, but yet our diet can do this to us. So what else happens here? So fat also releases pro-inflammatory chemicals called cytokines. Those pro-inflammatory cytokines can damage small blood vessels. Where are there small blood vessels that we wouldn't want to be damaged? In the penis. And so when these blood vessels get damaged from these pro-inflammatories from too much fat, then they heal with scar tissue. So the vessel that was there to carry blood to make the erection is no longer available. And so even a little blue pill isn't going to work for long, or will have diminishing returns because there's no blood vessels for the blood to flow into. So there's this whole spiraling cycle, and spiraling in the wrong direction, that is going on with the way we eat and affecting our manliness. Now, aromatase increases with age. Aromatase increases, let me look at a couple things here, a couple of my notes. With age, it increases with belly fat. It increases with certain, with too much alcohol, affecting our liver to metabolize. And so obesity and elevated insulin. Now, I talk about insulin a lot. It's a big problem because when insulin levels increase, again, we're storing fat. And then the chemical, the other hormone, glucagon, which burns fat, cannot be liberated out of the body. It's one or the other. You can't have elevated insulin storing things and elevated glucagon burning things. It's one or the other. So when insulin levels drop, which is why we talk so much about fasting, glucagon levels go up because they start to look for fuel sources. That's a great way to get rid of that belly fat. So some remedies. One, eat less often, right? Restrict your eating window down to maybe 6 to 8 hours a day. Eat less refined carbohydrates. Now, I think vegetables are fine. And to some degree, for some men, fruit is fine, but you want to reduce the refined carbohydrates. Other things would be fasting will help resensitize insulin and decrease glucose and insulin levels. Other things that would be beneficial is no snacking between meals. And some men only need 2 meals a day. We're sort of conditioned to eat 3. Other things that would be beneficial, reduce alcohol intake. Other things that would be beneficial is a daily dose of pine pollen. And you can find that here on this website. Other things that would be beneficial are things like diindole methane, DIM, which can help excrete estrogen out of the body. And other things that would be beneficial would be good, vigorous bursts of exercise. So I hope this helps you identify like where certain problems might be coming from, because using medications or the little blue pill are going to have diminishing returns if your body is producing a lot of estrogen, and if we're feeding our body things that cause it to produce a lot of estrogen. We have to look upstream as well. So if you have any comments, let us know. I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. And really, here's what you got to remember is only you can be your own doctor, right? I can't do this stuff for you. A trainer can't do this stuff for you. Only you can do it for you. Got to be your own doctor. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.